Good evening everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So I'll let you guys in on a little something. A few months ago, my friends introduced me to a show called Hell of a Boss, an animated web series all available on YouTube about a group of assassins from hell. And you know what? I thought it was a great show. I really enjoyed my time with it. I thought the characters were really easy to get attached to. And so after I finished Hell of a Boss and I gave my positive feedback, they were like, oh, well, you have to watch Hazbin Hotel. It's the new Amazon Prime, I guess you'd call it a spin-off, even though it's kind of seen as the main in the franchise, but it's, you know, within the same universe by the same team of animators. It's a little show about the daughter of Lucifer who sets up a hotel in hell, which is meant to rehabilitate sinners, to give them a chance to go to heaven. This is because there's a real overpopulation in hell, in which heaven sees that as a threat. So every year they do exterminations where a bunch of angels go down to hell and just kill a bunch of people by using angelic weapons, which is the only thing that can permanently kill a demon. So I watched the show, and I gotta be honest, I was a little disappointed. I will say that while I did enjoy my time with the show for the most part, and I do definitely see the appeal, I'm going to talk about my personal problems with it and why I was a little let down by it. Now I will say, I did bring up these flaws to my friends, in which I was met with, oh, you need to rewatch it because you didn't watch it properly the first time. Even though I did, well, okay, I did and I didn't. The first 5 episodes maybe, we all kind of watched together and was like chatting, so maybe I didn't get the full experience. And I thought, okay, that's fair enough. So I went and rewatched it, and the problems did not go away. They got a little bit worse. I said part 1 is where I'm going to be nice about it. One thing I did very much like about the show was how it really expanded upon the world of Hell of a Boss. As I said, I did really like Hell of a Boss, and my only problem with it after I finished it was that I just wanted to see more of it. I wanted to see more of hell and more interesting stories about sinners. I wanted to see heaven and all sorts. And Hazbin Hotel finally does give us that. And honestly, I think it does a really good job of showing us just how expansive this world is. And I do also like the fact that it does play with the formula of kind of heaven and hell, and never got stale or repetitive, and just kept throwing interesting stuff towards you, which was really cool. And I think all the bits with Heaven and Adam and the extermination, I think that was all pretty well written. The characters in the show are so creative design-wise. And did I mention just how pretty this show is? I've been nice about the show too much now. Part 2, the pacing is awful. This is the root of every single one of Hazbin Hotel's problems. I know they were only given 8 episodes, so they had to really sort of work around that stuff. But good God, learn how to cut stuff, Jesus Christ. The pacing doesn't really make the show hard to follow, but it does result in some real tonal whiplash. It also just means that there just isn't time to flesh out all these characters. We're introduced to so many cool and creative characters, and I'll be honest, most of them just get pushed to the side after a tiny bit of screen time because we gotta focus on the extermination plot. And I will say the show does improve towards the end, mostly because it knows what to focus on, but the first half of the show is all over the fucking place. It's just trying to force so much shit onto it as possible. I think if the show paced itself a lot slower, focusing on fleshing out the characters and their bonds and saving some of the plot for the second season, I think the show will be greatly improved. I mean, I know that they have saved stuff for the second season, and for all we know they could have already trimmed a bunch of stuff off for the second season, but it still feels just too crowded. So part 2, the characters. So now we're flying, we're free I already touched upon this briefly, but the characters do have such amazing concepts and designs, but there really just isn't time to have so many of them. Some of the characters are really well fleshed out, like Vaggie, Serpentius, Adam, and especially Angel Dust. These characters are pretty cool on paper, but just really underused. I suppose I kind of do like Husk though, to be fair, so I won't be too mean. Even Charlie, the main character, feels underused. There's potential for some great writing in her relationship with Vaggie. Vaggie's another pretty well written character, but I would have liked to see more of this relationship. I'll be honest, it's barely even there. But you know what the biggest problem with the characters is? Part 3. Angel Dust is just too good. The character arc with Angel Dust is genuinely so stupidly good that it makes the rest of the show look shit. Episode 4 is easily the best episode, as it's the only one that's a whole complete character arc that is successfully emotionally investive. I don't know if I prefer Angel Dust to the best characters from Hell of a Boss, like Fizzaroli or Stillus, but he's easily the best character in the show. I mean, another reason this kind of creates a bit of an issue is that after this character arc, Angel Dust is completely pushed to the side. Like, could you imagine if after the character arc with Blitz and Fizzaroli, after that one episode, Fizzaroli was just completely pushed away and not in the show anymore? Could you imagine how disappointing that would be? Like, why get so emotionally invested in this character arc if in the grand scheme of the show, it means nothing? Listen, as I said, this isn't a bad show at all, and to be honest, I think Season 2 could make it way better. If they really still have to do so much in the second season, I hope they at least make the episodes, 10-15 minutes longer. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Fuck you, goodbye.
Of your poison, I made my choices. Every night I'm living like there's no